Japan in 2026 is giving you 10 reasons to book a flight, and I'm about to go through all of them. We're talking Tokyo to Okinawa, crowded classics to places most people completely skip. These are the 10 best places to visit in Japan right now, and I'll tell you exactly why each one earns its spot.
Tokyo. Tokyo is where the trip starts for most people, and it's justified, but not for the reasons most first-timers think. It's not just big and flashy. The thing that gets you is how it layers. You're standing at Senso-ji in Osaka, this old 1,000-year-old temple, and 30 minutes later, you're underground in Akihabara, watching someone compete in an esports tournament in a packed arena. That contrast isn't a bug. It's the whole point of this city. Team Lab Borderless is now permanently housed at its new home in Azabudai Hills near Roppongi. It's bigger and better than the old Odaiba version, and it's genuinely one of the most disorienting art experiences on the planet. And the Park Hyatt in Shinjuku just came out of a 19-month renovation looking incredible. Here's what a lot of visitors completely blow past though: the Hamariku Gardens. Tidal seawater ponds, this old Edo-era silence right inside the city. People walk straight past it to get to the next neon thing. Don't do that.
2. Kyoto. Everyone says Kyoto is magical and then spends their whole trip in a queue for Fushimi Inari, trying to get a clean shot. And look, it is magical. Walking through Higashiyama at dawn when the streets are quiet and the wooden machiya townhouses are still misted over, that's genuinely one of the best things you can do in Asia. The thing that makes Kyoto different in 2026 is there's now a proper luxury option that doesn't feel fake. Capella Kyoto just opened in the Miyagawa-cho district, converted from a former school built with original materials. It's serious. But the real unlock for Kyoto is just going left when everyone goes right. The Zen gardens of Kennenji Temple, the back streets of Arashiyama past the bamboo grove, the moss-covered paths that most people never reach. That's where the city actually breathes. The crowds are real, the silence is still findable. You just have to walk a little further.
Number 3. Osaka. Osaka has a different energy to Tokyo. Looser, louder, more willing to feed you until you can't move. The locals take genuine pride in that. Dotonbori at night with the canal lights and the smell of takoyaki from 6 different directions is one of those experiences where you just stop and go, okay, this is why I travel. The big 2026 story here is the post-Expo transformation of Yumeshima. The Osaka Metro Chuo line now runs directly to the island, and what was the fairgrounds is becoming a proper destination with hotels and a preserved section of the Grand Ring structure as a public park. Super Nintendo World at USJ is still pulling huge numbers, and honestly, it lives up to it. The power-up band tech makes you feel like you're actually inside the game. What's underrated about Osaka, though, is how good a base it is. Cheaper than Tokyo, central to the whole Kansai region, and more accessible than people think. Most visitors rush through on a day trip from Kyoto. That's exactly backwards.
Nara. Nara is one of those places where you show up for the deer and leave thinking about everything else. Yes, the free-roaming sacred deer in Nara Park are as surreal as they look in photos. They will absolutely walk up to you and bow for a cracker. But the Tadaiji Temple behind them houses the world's largest bronze Buddha, and most people spend about 4 minutes with it before going back to deer selfies. The headline for 2026, though, is the Hoshinoya Nara Prison. That's not a typo. Japan's first luxury hotel inside a Meiji-era prison, classified as an important cultural property, opened this past June 25th. They've turned solitary confinement cells into suites with arched windows and high ceilings. There's an on-site museum open to the public. It is exactly as fascinating as it sounds. Nara gets treated like a half-day trip from Osaka, which is criminal, no pun intended. The city has layers. Spend the night.
Number 5. Kanazawa. This is the one I push on everyone who's already done the Golden Route. Kanazawa sits on the Sea of Japan coast. It's got one of the 3 great gardens in the country, beautifully preserved geisha and samurai districts, and a food scene that honestly rivals Osaka. People just don't know about it because it's not on the default itinerary. The Omicho market is 300 years old, and you can sit down to a fresh seafood rice bowl for a fraction of what you'd pay in Tokyo. Ken Rokuin Garden in winter with the Yukitsuri ropes, the ones they tie around tree branches to protect them from snow, is one of the most quietly beautiful things in Japan. And the Higashi Chaya district has that same old-world tea house atmosphere as Gion in Kyoto, without the tourist trap pricing or the crowds. Kanazawa is what people mean when they say they want to see the real Japan. It's right there. Take the Hokuriku Shinkansen from Tokyo, and you're there in under 2.5 hours.
Fukuoka. Fukuoka is on the island of Kyushu, and it feels different. The pace is slower, the coast is right there, and the food confidence is off the charts. This city invented Hakata ramen, the rich pork bone broth version that the rest of the world has been copying for decades, and you can eat it at the source for almost nothing. The yatai stalls are the experience you've seen in photos, these outdoor food stalls along the Tenjin and Hakata waterways, cramped and convivial, where you sit elbow to elbow with strangers and eat motsunabe, or spiced cod roe on basically everything. The mentaiko here is exceptional. They put it in gyoza, in pasta, in cream sauce. It's their thing, and they've earned it. What Fukuoka doesn't get credit for is how livable and family-friendly it is. The daimyo neighborhood especially. Safe, walkable, good cafes. A lot of people treat it as a quick stopover on the way to somewhere else. Those people are making a mistake.
Number 7. Naha, Okinawa. Okinawa is not mainland Japan, and I mean that in the best way possible. The culture here traces back to the Ryukyu Kingdom, an independent trading civilization that was absorbing influences from China and Southeast Asia, while the rest of Japan was in feudal isolation. You feel it in the food, the architecture, the music. The bright red Shuri Castle on the hill above Naha is the physical heart of all of that. And after a devastating fire in 2019, the main Seiden Hall is scheduled to fully reopen this fall 2026. It's one of the major cultural events of the travel year. Walk through the Shurimon Gate, see the vermilion pillars restored. It hits differently when you know what was nearly lost. What most tourists miss entirely is that Okinawa has some of the lowest violent crime rates and highest food hygiene standards in a country that already leads the world in both. And Naha is a warm subtropical city where you can eat royally for cheap. Stop treating it like a beach detour. It's a destination.
8. Yakushima. If you've seen Princess Mononoke, you've seen Yakushima. Studio Ghibli based the film's ancient forest directly on the Shiratani Unsuikyo ravine here. Walking into it in person is one of the genuinely disorienting travel experiences I've had anywhere in the world. The moss is so thick it muffles sound. The cedar trees are enormous. The Jomon Sugi, the oldest of them, is estimated at anywhere from 2,000 to 7,000 years old. Scientists genuinely can't agree, and it is alive. Hiking to it is a full-day commitment on demanding trails. Bring real rain gear. This island is famously wet, and that's part of what keeps it so pristine. There's also the Hiraiuchi Onsen, a natural hot spring set directly in the ocean, only accessible at low tide. Entry is about 200 yen. That's the whole thing. That is the experience. Yakushima is hard to reach and physically demanding, and that's exactly why it's worth it. This is what people mean when they talk about a life-changing trip. Most Japan itineraries don't even mention it.
9. Hokkaido. Hokkaido is Japan's northern frontier, and in summer it becomes something completely different from the rest of the country. Cooler, quieter, impossibly green. The lavender fields of Furano around July are the image you've seen on every Japan travel account, and they're real. Farm Tomita is the most famous, and it earns it. But the Blue Pond in BA is the thing I keep thinking about. This cobalt blue body of water surrounded by silver dead trees and mist, and it shifts color depending on the light and time of day. It's genuinely surreal. Hokkaido is also Japan's dairy and seafood capital. The freshness standard here is just different. People who visit in winter for the snow festivals and ski slopes are missing an equally spectacular summer experience. And for families especially, the scale of space here, real parks, open roads, room to breathe, is a relief after the intensity of the south. It's undervisited in summer relative to how good it is. That's the window.
Number 10. Aizu Region, Fukushima. The word Fukushima still makes some people hesitate, and it shouldn't. Radiation levels in Aizu region are normal, and expert assessments have confirmed this consistently. What Aizu actually is one of the most historically dense and visually dramatic regions in Japan, with almost no foreign tourist competition. Shuri Castle is the anchor, and the story of the Byakutai, the teenage samurai who died defending it during Japan's Civil War, is devastating and real, and barely known outside Japan. The Ochijuku post town nearby looks exactly like the Edo period, thatched roofs and all, and it's not a reconstruction, it's actually preserved. Goshiki Numa is a chain of volcanic crater lakes in greens and blues and reds that look scientifically impossible. And Kitakata ramen, the regional style here, is one of Japan's most underrated bowls. Thick, flat noodles, clear soy broth, served since before sunrise at local shops. Aizu rewards the traveler who does the research. You're welcome.
Japan in 2026 is genuinely one of the best value for experience destinations on the planet right now. The yen situation is real. The infrastructure is world-class. The food ceiling is higher than almost anywhere else. And there's enough depth across these 10 places to fill 3 separate trips. The mistake most people make is stacking Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka back to back and calling it done. That's a good trip, but Kanazawa, Yakushima, Aizu, that's where you actually start to understand the country. Do the research, get off the golden route even once, and Japan will do the rest. If this helped you figure out where you're going, or if you're still deciding, drop it in the comments. I read them.